Right, the question was about asking what are the legal or the valid variable names and what are the illegal or the invalid variable names and what are the reasons. The first one, it says cannot start with a number. Yes, therefore, yes, it cannot start with a number. Therefore, not valid. Variables with space, variable space name, yes. No, cannot contain space. Correct. No, cannot contain space. And variable one name, it says yes, it is allowed to have, yes, is allowed to have numbers or the digits in between after the first character. Variable hyphen name, therefore, cannot contain symbols other than the underscore. Very good, correct. You can have only underscore, you are not allowed to, cannot contain symbols except underscore. Right, and variable underscore name, yes, correct. That's fine. And variable dollar name, yes, no, cannot contain symbols except the underscore. Variable at name, yes, cannot contain symbols except underscore. Dollar variable name. There are two reasons, yes, cannot start with the dollar sign and cannot only start with the letter underscore. Very good reasoning, yes. Therefore, cannot contain symbols except underscore. And underscore variable name, yes, yes. Now, everyone has sent me the answers correctly. Yes, as you said, 359 are the only correct answers, 359. The all others are invalid. Very good. Right. Now, hopefully, you can remember the previously what we have done up to now. Right. Then let's start it then. Any questions? Any other questions before we start? No. Right. Very good. Then we have to start with the variable types. Now, okay. Now, I think last time we discussed about that. Okay, the type of the variables is decided when? The type of the variable in Python. When it is decided or how it is decided, how to declare the type.
When the first time the value is assigned?
Yes, when you assign a value, the type is decided. Yes, based on the type, based on the value you assign, the type is decided. Yes. Now, for an example, right now, if you have variable x equals 10, and if you want to print the variable x, you can, inside the print method, you can just pass x value. And let's save it as, right now, let me find out whether it's in the, no, right. Desktop, right. Okay, this is the file I was looking for. Let's save it as exercise.python ex.py. In my desktop, I have ex file py ex.py. Right, then it will just display the variable value 10. If I do it like this, what's the difference now? What is the difference between first print method and the second print method? What is the difference?
First one prints 10 and the second one just prints x.
Yeah, why? The first one prints the value of the variable, while the second one prints the string. It just prints x here. Then what happens here? Because the first one prints the value of the variable x, the second one just prints x as a string. This is a string x because we have put the double quotes. And also we have discussed this as well. I think I can remember. Okay, if I have used single quotes, what will happen? If I use 3 single quotes, and if I use 3 double quotes, what will happen? What would be the output?
All of this will print just text.
Yes, why? In Python, in order to define as a string, now write down if you want. In Python, in order to define as a string value, you can either use single quotes, double quotes, 3 single quotes, or 3 double quotes. All these options, single quotes, double quotes, or 3 single or double quotes, will declare it as a Python value. Sorry, string value. It will be a string. Right. Now, my question is to figure out what is okay. We'll leave this for a while and then we wanted to find out the type of the variable. There's a method right now. There's a method called type. Type method, you can pass the variable here. Then the type method will gives us the type of the variable. Let's say y equals type, and then I can print the variable y if you want. Let me make it as a multi-line comment, which I'm doing is not making as a multi-line comment, but I'm making as a string with no reference attached. A string with no reference. Right now, here, if I print, okay, why is it? Print X. Maybe, okay, this might be, okay, I have used this and here also I have it. That might be the reason. Okay, therefore, let's do it like this. Right now, it will give you the class is integer type. Right now, class is integer type. Therefore, rather doing 2 steps, now because we know the type method returns the type of the variable, therefore, we can just put that inside the print method. Then we can figure out what is the type of the variable. Right now you can say x is assigned 10. Now it says integer value. Right now, in a little while here, I'm going to make x value as a string by putting double quotes. Then it will become a string. And then I'm going to say 10.5. And I'm going to say 10.10j. Likewise, then what's going to happen here? It become integer, the variable x become a string, it become float, it become a complex. Likewise, you can see the variable type changes. The variable type changes based on the value you assign. Variable type changes based on the value you assign. Right. Right now, we're going to talk about the variable types. Now, integers. Now, you know, when you can have string, integer, float. We have string, integer, string, float, complex. Likewise, we have, and for the Boolean also we can have, right? We can have, let's say, x equals 0. What will happen if I put x equals 0? Will it be a float value? Right. If x equals 0, what would be the value? Right now, if 0 is considered as an integer value. Right now, if I say true, x equals true, then that would display as a Boolean value. Right. That is how it displays the values. Right. Now, You know the data types. Right now you have different data types in Python. Apart from that, we have collections as well. We can call it as list, tuple, dictionary, set. Likewise, you can have different data types as well. Right. Now, let's see how the Python numbers, we can deal with the numbers. The numbers, there are three types of numbers. We can have integers, we can have float, we can have complex. Integers and floats and complex. Therefore, whenever you assign a value to the variable, the type of the variable is decided. Right now, using the type variable, you can figure it out. Right now, let's see. Now we're going to talk about the integers. Right. Now, when you talk about the integers, let's say now, if x equals 10 or if x equals 0, now we have already done it, or if x equals minus 10, positive value, 0 or a negative value. Right now, let's see whether will the type of the variable change, right? If it is for negative values, if it is for 0, and if it is for positive values. Now, you can say integer, int or integer could be a positive value, could be 0, could be a negative value, right? It does not have a decimal value. Then, okay, how many values does the integer can have? Okay, I may have the plus sign. I think this would be enough for us, right? To figure out to get the slash. Integer, right? Therefore, no limit unlimited length. It could have positive, negative, or 0 with unlimited length without decimals. Right. Then, if you want to assign the float means the floating points. Float means the floating point numbers. The floating point numbers, right? Now, let's say here we have 10.5 and 0. 0 is an integer value, right? Then 0.1 minus 10.9. Likewise, you can have okay, some values. Then what is the type of the variable? Right now, it will display as float. Therefore, float means floating point number. So the numbers with decimal values, or which could contain one decimal value or more decimal values. Float contains one or many decimal values, right? It could be a negative or positive. Float values could be negative or positive as well, right? And complex numbers, right now even 10.5j or 0j, or we can have 10 point minus 10.95 is j. Right now, if you put j here, then you can say it become a complex number. Complex number means, right, it is a number with imaginary part. Complex numbers represent, the j represent the imaginary part. Can have 10.5 plus 1j. Likewise, you can have, which is a complex number, right? Because a j represents the imaginary part, and the numbers with imaginary parts is called as the complex numbers. Right. Now, when you have numbers, and if you want to convert the type, right now, for an example, let's say you have an integer, and if you want to convert into a float, right? If you want to convert into a float, then you can say y is equals to float. You call the method float by passing x. Now you can print the variable y, comma, and the type of the variable y. Right. Then you can see it get converted as 10.0, which is a float. Right. Now if you have minus 10, if you have minus 10 and if you convert it to float, that become minus 10.0. If you have 0, which is an integer value, if you want to convert into a float, you could do it 0.0. Therefore, integer can convert into a integers can convert into a float and complex. Then int can convert to float and complex. Right. Now let's see if it is right. Okay, complex also. We will see how it works. Right now, it can convert it to a complex number. You can see 10 become 10j, and if it is minus 10, that become minus 10j. Right now, that is how we get converted to a complex number. Therefore, integers can convert to a float to complex numbers. Right now, how you do it? By calling integer. Okay, now float method. Right now, what are the methods we have? We have the integer to convert into an integer, float to convert into a float, complex to convert into a complex. Here you can have these values, right? Right now, let's figure out whether now the float values, whether it is possible to convert into an integer. The float values, whether is it possible to convert into an integer. Right now, float value 10.5. Right now, you can see yes, 10.5 get converted to an integer, then the 0.5 get reduced. If it is a negative value, if it is minus 10.5, then 10. Again, the value are removed. Like now, minus 10.5, minus 10. If it is 0.12, okay, something like this, right? Then you can say 0 because it will get only the integer value. Like now, you can say even if you have 0.45, what will happen? Write 0. If it is 5, 0. If it is 0.9, now you can see it is round down. It doesn't matter what is the decimal value. It will just consider the float, whatever the whole number only. It will consider only the whole number part. Therefore, now floats can convert it into an integer. Can it convert it to a complex number? 0.9, yes. If it is a negative value, yes. If it is a positive value, if it is 0, yes. If it is a positive value, yes. Right. Therefore, now float can convert it to float can convert to integer as well as complex. And then let's see a complex number, whether is it possible to convert to an integer. Okay, quickly figure out and tell me if it is a complex number, can you convert a complex number to an integer or complex to a float? Quickly try out and tell me, please. Yes, tell me, is it possible to convert the complex numbers into integer and float? Hello? Can you hear me?
It's not possible, sir. It is I know that.
Can or can't? Can't.
Can't.
Okay, let's see if it is 6j is the complex number. We are trying to convert into an integer. Right, now let's see what's gonna happen now. Therefore, now you will see. Right, now using the int method, argument must be a string, a bytes-like object, or real number, not complex. Therefore, complex numbers cannot convert to an integer. Right. Complex numbers cannot convert to an integer. Right. Then whether is it possible to a float? Is it possible to convert into a float? Right. Now Again, you can say float argument must be a string or real number, not complex. Therefore, float also cannot be a complex number. Therefore, a complex object cannot convert to a, you can say, complex cannot convert to into float. Right, now you need to remember that. Now these are the methods of doing it. Right. Now, okay. Right, now these are used in the constructor functions we have done it. Right, now, okay, then if you want to talk about the strings, that means now strings could be declared now. Now strings could be declared any of these ways. Strings could be declared using any of these ways, which is you could declare it as a, right, now x. That means, okay, let's say now x I can set it as hello. This is how you declare it as a hello, and then let's try to get the type. Now you can see this will give you save this one, type float text. Where is this part? Okay, there is no y, right? Here's x and type x. Then you will see that is a class string. Right now, okay, to make sure all these types, single quotes, and then you can use the double quotes and three single quotes. Three double quotes. But now remember, if you start with single quote, you need to end with a single quote, right? You can't start with a single quote and you can't end with a double quote, right? If you try this, if you start with single quote and if you try to end with the double quotes, now it will give you an error. Then you get unterminated string literal, because if you started with a single quotes to indicate this as a string, you need to end it with a string. Right now, what will happen? Right now, you can see here hello and the double quotes considered as a string. Now that is what it happens previously as well. If you can remember when I was trying to make it as a comment, what happened? Right. Now let's try to convert. Okay, now let's say we have x equals hello, right? That's a string value. Try to convert into an integer, try to convert into a float, and try to convert into a complex and see. Let's see. Now, how to convert into a, okay, first of all, we'll try to convert a number into a string, okay? The method to convert a number into a string is str, right? Str. Right, now, okay, let's say if I try to convert x, y equals strx. Okay, first we'll try to do numbers, okay? A number 10, and then we're going to convert the number 10 into a string, and then we're going to print the variable y value, and then we're going to print the type of the variable y value. Type of the variable y value. Right now, If you try to do is now x variable, previous it was 10 integer, now you convert it into a string. Now 10 contains a string value. Even if you do x, if you change it to x, what will happen here? Previously x is the integer value, now you have changed it to an string value, therefore now it is a string. Right now if you try to convert 10.5 to a string, yes, 10.5 works as a string. And 10.5j, it's a complex number. If you try to convert, then yes, 10.5j can convert into a string. Therefore, integer can convert to float, complex, and string. And float can convert to integer, complex, and string. Complex cannot convert to int or float, but can. Complex cannot contain to this, and but the complex variables can convert to integers. It can be converted to a string. Yes, can be converted to a string. Right, then okay. Complex number can be converted to a string. Then try out string value can be converted to a float, integer, complex. Likewise, try out and tell me. Okay, what are the types? Can the string converted to a integer, float, complex, all three? Is it possible? Try out and send me quickly. Integer, float, and complex. All three try. Okay, only one answer I got, not for all three, is it? Not for all three. I'm gonna prove it. You can. Right. Okay. Let's say we have a string 10. Okay. It is 10. I'm gonna convert into an integer. Yes, you can. Yes, if you have not a number, if you have any other text, if you have some other content, you cannot, yes. But if it is a number, yes, you can. Then let's say string 10 is a integer value, float set as a string value. What we wanted to do. I wanted to try out 10 can be converted to integer. It can be converted to a float. Yes, can be converted to a float. Either can it convert to a complex. Yes, that is possible. Therefore, string, that means numbers. String, also you can say numbers. If it is a number, okay? Numbers can convert to integer, complex, integer, float, and complex numbers. Int, float, and complex numbers. Right, that is possible. If it is a number, right? If it is not a number, if it is, let's say we have hello, and if you try to convert into an integer or complex or something, then you can say complex argument is a malformed string. That is not a supported one. That is a malformed string. Right. Therefore, it is supporting only for the numbers which has been saved as a string format. Right, then under strings, what we have to discuss now, we know, okay, if you have a string variable, now the conversion will keep aside for, okay, let's say this is, okay, this is, okay, I'm gonna write what, testing string data type. I have a string variable. Right now, this is a string type. If I want to get, right, then if I want to print only, now you know the type first. Okay, let it print the type. If I print the x, it will print all. If I print x inside the square brackets, like let's say right now, if I want to figure out what is the size of the string, is it possible to find out? How many characters are there? How can we find out? And how can we figure out? There's a method called length that will give you the length. I'm gonna say length x. Right. Then here it gives us 21. Let's check whether we have 21. One. How many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Right. Now you can see here the length method gives us the, yes, given. Yes. Right now, the length method gave us the size of the string variable. Right now, they can say the size. The size of the variable is, it has 21 characters. Size is 21 characters. Right now, we have 21 characters for the size variable. Right now, if I want to print, let's say 1 to 10 numbers. Okay, if I want to print only 1 to 10 numbers, like I want to print only 1 to 10 numbers. Right now, let's say I'm gonna say x inside the square brackets 1 colon 10. Then this would print starting from the 1, therefore 0 1, therefore e. Right now, let's say we can say 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 up. Okay, I'm gonna say up to from 0 to 7 characters I'm going to print. Then you can say 0 to 7. Now this is 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 7 is not including the up to 7th character. It's gonna print up to the 7th character. Therefore, the last index is not included. The 7th index is not included. Starting from 0th index to 7th index. Right now, if you are starting from 0, you don't need to set the 0 value. If you are starting from 0, you can just say up to 7. Then here it will do the same. Right, therefore it will start from the beginning to 7. Right now, if you start from 5 to 7, you can say it will start from the 5th letter to 7, like 5th letter 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 means n. 6 ng 7 is 7, right? Then if you want to start from t, what is the index I need to have? 0th index, 0 first, second, third, 0 first, second, third. Therefore, third to 7th if I want. Then I would be able to get ting. Right. Testing. Right. Now, okay, this is how then again the same way. If you start from 7 to the rest, if you say 7 to the rest, then it will start from the 7th character and all the rest of the all. Then it will show you string data type. String data type. Likewise, it will print like this. Okay, then further discuss about the strings. Now, let's go to the Boolean data type and then we'll come back to string. Otherwise, we will forget this conversion. Right, the Boolean values, only true or false. Right, Boolean values are true or false. Right, then let's say we have true, true. Yeah, I'm going to print the type of the x and the variable. I'm going to print the true. Then it says true is not declared. Okay, simple T true is not declared. If it is a Boolean true, capital T. Yes, true says class Boolean. And even if it is false, capital FALC. LSC. False. It says Boolean. Right. Now, okay, then if you try to convert a Boolean value to an integer, would it work out? I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to try out x. Oh, sorry. Int. And then I'm going to convert into a Boolean, whatever the false value to a integer. Right now, you can see the false converted as 0. Now it is an integer. Now, if it is a true, if it is a true value, then it gets converted to 1. Now, remember, if it's a Boolean value converted to a integer, it gives you, false gives you 0 and 1 gives you true. That means true gives you 1. Therefore, try out that. Right now, okay, now let's see. Now, a Boolean value can convert it to an integer. Can it convert to a float? Then you can see you get 1.0 if it's a true. If it is a false, we'll have both. Right now, if you convert true into a false, true into a float, it gives you 1.0. If you convert false into a float, it gives you 1.09. Let's have true at the beginning. Right now, you know that if you convert it to an integer, it gives you 1 and 0. If you convert it into a float, you can see it gives you 1.0, 0.0. And if you try to convert it into a complex, then you can say 1j and 0j. Likewise, then you can see Boolean can convert to integer, float, complex. Right. We can convert to integer, float, complex, and whether is it possible to convert to a string? Let's see. Right, yes, string also possible. Right. Therefore, now integer variables can convert to float, complex, string. The float variables can convert to integer, complex, string. The complex can convert to a string, and complex cannot convert to integer or float. Now, string numbers can convert to integer, float, complex. And can the string numbers convert it to a Boolean? Can the integer numbers convert it to the Boolean? Let's figure it out. Right, okay. If I have 10, I'm going to convert to a Boolean value. I'm gonna convert 10 to a Boolean value. Right. Now you can see the integer, when it converts to a Boolean, I got true. Again, if I convert back to a integer, what would be the value I am getting? Is it 10 or is it 1? Yes, now I have x equals 10. I am converting it to a Boolean, and at the same time I'm converting back to an integer. Now what would be the value of x? Yes, what would be the value? Yes, it will be 1 because like when integer converted to Boolean, it would be true. And a true converted to a integer, it would be 1. Let's see. It would be 1. Again, it would be 1. If I convert 10 point, okay, minus value. If it is a minus value, if I convert a minus value, minus value to a boolean, and okay, let's say if I convert minus value to a boolean, what will happen? If it is a minus value to a boolean, still it gives you true. And if I convert 0 to a boolean, if I convert 0 to a boolean, it will give you false. Therefore, now remember, when you convert an integer to a boolean, right, now when converting int to boolean, right, which gives you 1, which gives you 0, any number is true except 0. Any number is true except 0. When boolean is converting, when converting into bool, right, then remember any number is true except 0. When you are converting, let's say 1.5 to a boolean or floating value, therefore it's true if it is minus 1.5. It's true if it is 0.0. It's false. Therefore, when converting integer or float, to bool, any number is true except 0. Right now, if it is 10j, a complex number, you're going to convert to a boolean, it's true. If it is minus 10j, it's true when you convert 0j, false. Therefore, integer, float, or complex, when converting boolean can convert in float, complex, string. When converting integer, float, or complex to boolean, any number is true except 0. Right, now when you try, let's try to convert a string value. Now we have a string value, we are trying to convert to a boolean. It is true. Therefore, anything, if it is a number, whatever we have, if you convert to a string value to a boolean, it is true. Unless you convert an empty string, it will be a false. It will be a false. Right, now my question is, you have x equals, hello? You convert it to a boolean and then you convert back to a string. What would be the output? Try out.
So can you repeat the question, please?
You have a string, hello. You convert it to a boolean and you convert back the boolean to a string. What would be the value?
So string to boolean, then boolean to string gives me true.
Yes,
Last string.
yes. Why is it? Yeah, the reason. Okay, the reason. Easily tell. You can tell. Why?
I
Because
think so.
yes, tell me.
Yeah, I think when converting a string to boolean, it considers as a
True.
valid true.
Yeah.
So it gets the value true, and then the true is converted to a string.
Yes, then the yes, first when you convert any string value to a boolean, it gives you true. Then when you convert back true to a string, that would give you true word as a string. Yes, correct. Is that clear now? Right. Now if you convert empty string to a boolean, what will happen? Okay, if you have an empty string, convert empty string to a boolean and again back to a string. Will you get the empty string again?
It gives false.
It gives you false. Yes, it won't get back to a empty string because when empty string converted to a boolean, it gives you false. Then false will convert it to a string. Then it will be false as a string value. Right. Okay. Then when converting, right now here, let's try this. Okay, when converting string to bool, and how can you write any string is true except empty string. Right. Okay, now we have to remember this. Is that clear up to now? Right. Now we are going back to string values. We're gonna do some activities. Okay, beforehand, I'm gonna show you how to get a user input here. Right now, because we know the data types and everything now. Okay, there's a method called input, right? There's a method called input which gives us a which allow us to take an input from the user, right? Then here I want you to figure out what is the type of the values you
So
are getting from the input
excuse me, sir.
method and so on. Right now, I'm going to use the input
Excuse me,
method.
sir.
Yeah,
Can you give me 2 minutes? I'm just taking notes.
yeah, sure. Okay, no worries.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right. Okay. Then I was talking about then how to take a user input from the user. Right now, in order to get a user input from the user, now let's see. There's a method called input. Right, then input method, when you say input, and if you do it like this, input, and now if you run this, now the cursor is waiting for an input, then you can type hello, and then you will be able to print hello. If you type 10, you will be able to get it. That means that value gets assigned to the variable length. Okay, the input method is taking an input. Not only that, it allows us to type something here as well. Okay, what is your name? You can ask, what is your name? As a string. Now, it will print name, and then you have to enter the name. Let's say Jane. Then it says Jane. Right now, likewise, you can ask using the input method. Okay, give us the number. Likewise, what is the name? What is the number? Likewise, you can ask user to enter input, and then we can get it. Right, you can ask for the number. You can ask for anything. Right now, likewise, you can print what is your name, what is your number. Likewise, you can ask anything to print it here, and then user will be able to provide the input accordingly. Right now, first thing is figure out and tell me what is the type of the values taken by the input method. When you insert, when you enter a number, when you enter a floating value, when you enter boolean, or when you enter string, what is the type it takes, or what is the type of the variable x, what is the type it's stored. Figure out and tell me quickly. What is the type?
All a string.
Yes, no matter what you enter, it will be taken as a string. Yes. Now, if you really want to convert it to an integer, how can you do that? If you want to get a number, if you want to get a number, how can you get a number?
Just using the int in front of
Yes,
input
using the
works.
constructor method int. Yes, by using the constructor method int, you can take the integer value. Yes. Right. Okay. Likewise, get a number and show me how to do that. Right now, if you want to get an integer, right now what you have to do, you can say, even here, you can get the x value. Thereafter, you can say, well, okay, x equals int x. Likewise, if you want, you can do it. And then you can print the x value as well as the type of the x value. Right now, okay, I have not saved it seems. Number 15. Then you can say it gives me the type as integer. Likewise, you could do. But now you can see these are two steps, right? Therefore, what you can do is here, you could copy paste here. So let me have another copy here. Right now, here you can have int and can have the bracket here as well. Right now, you could have like this in one line, you can get an integer number, right? Using an input method, right? Now, that is how you get an integer value, right? Now take two numbers and then you know the arithmetic operations, right? Basically, you have arithmetic operators which are what? We can do addition, subtraction, we can have multiplication, we can have division, and then we can have the modulus, then we can have the floor division, and then we can have the exponent. Take two numbers from the user and then perform this for an example. If you have just forget about this. Like now, for an example, if you have, let's say, x equals 10 and y equals 5, then if you want, you can see z equals x plus y. Likewise, you can calculate the total of x plus y and then you can print it. Likewise, what I want you to do is get the two numbers from the user and perform the following operations and then display what is the result. Do it and send it to me via chat. Only two of you have sent me the answers. Quickly send the others as well. Right now, again, another few have sent. Right, okay, let's rather wasting the time. We'll do this right now. You get the X value. Okay, right now. You can get the Y value as well. You can ask user to enter the X. You can ask user to enter the Y. And thereafter, you can have the variables, let's say addition equals X plus Y. Subtraction equals X minus Y. multiplication is equals to x multiplied by y, and the division is equals to x divided by y, and remainder is equal modulus. Okay, the remainder is equals to x modulus y, and then floor division, and ft is equals to x floor division y, exponent is equals to x exponent y. Right, then we would print these. Then we're gonna display the x value, comma the operator plus comma y comma equals to, and right now let's see how does it gonna go. X equals 10. Okay, no, okay, no, it is right. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, and then the floor division, and then the exponent. Right now you can see addition gives you 14, subtraction 8, multiplication 33, and when you do the division, 11 divided by 3 give you a float value, and when you divide by 3, remaining value is 2, and the floor division will give you the round down to the integer, then 3. And here the exponent is 11 to the power 3. Right now, in order to see this, we'll have 2 to the power 3. Then 2 to the power 3, you will see it as 8. That is how you work with the arithmetic operators. Now, these are the arithmetic operators in Python. Arithmetic operators. Right now, the number conversion thing, I think you may have already noted down. Now, we have discussed just about the arithmetic operators. Then we have comparison operators or relational operators. The relation between two numbers. Now this will always gives us a true or false value, either Boolean value. Now this will always gives us a Boolean value. The relational operator or the comparison operators will result in a Boolean value. What are the relational operators? Equals to and not equals, equals to not equals, less than equals, greater than equals. Right now, equal, not equal, less than equals, greater than equals. That's it. Right, okay, try out these as well. Now, just take two numbers from the user and then compare the numbers and tell me what it gonna gives you. Right now, okay, now when we compare the values, right now, let's say we don't need this anymore. Let's see whether we have equals, not equals, and we have less than, we have less than equals, we have greater than, we have greater than equals, that's it, right? Equal, not equal, less than, greater than, right? Then we need to check whether x equals y. X not equals y. X less than y. X less than or equals to y. So x greater than y. And x greater than or equals to y. Then when I have x4 and 5, 4 equals 5 false, 4 not equals 5 true, 4 less than 5 true, 4 less than equals to 5 true, 4 greater than 5 false, 4 greater than equals to 5 false. Likewise, it will give you the answers right now. You will be able to see the relationship between the two numbers using the relational operators or the comparison operators, right? Now, there may be situations where you need to get, right, whether the number, right now, can we check whether the number is an even number? Can we check whether the number is an even number? Then if yes, we can say true, otherwise false. Can you check? The given number is an even number, true or false? Can you do it? Yes, we can, right? Display true or false if the number is an even number. Okay, try out quickly and send me the answer via chat, please.
So we can get only the remainder, but how to check if condition?
Sorry?
We can get the remainder if we can divide by 2 and get the remainder. If the remainder is 0, how to use the if condition?
Okay, let's say you want to get the x value. And then I'm going to say even number is even. I'm just going to display is even. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to check x modulus x value modulus 2 equals 0. Right? Okay. Now try the same thing for an odd number. Now it's easier for you to do it now. Halfway through, done almost. Right now, how to find the odd number? Does it take much time? No, the same thing, right? Even if you have to just you have to change this into 1. Oh, not equals. You have to say not equals 0. Right. But now, okay, now I want to make sure that the given number, let's say, is in between. Okay, about 10 and even number. I need to check two conditions at once. I need to display true if and only if the both conditions are valid. Both conditions are satisfied. If the both conditions are satisfied, I want to display true. Otherwise not. For that, we need to go with the logical operators. That means we need to combine two relational operators. Now, relational operators will result in a Boolean value that we know already, right? Therefore, since the Boolean values, since the relational operators results a Boolean value, and then if you want to combine two relational operators, that means you need to work with two Boolean values in the logical operators, right? Then the logical operators we have and or not operators we have. Yeah, right. We have and or not. Right now, let's see how to use the and operator. Right now, let's say now we have for a time being, let's say we have x equals true and y equals false. First, we'll figure it out. What will be the output when you have? I want you to find out and display this table and find out if it is true and false. What will happen if it is false? Not and here it should be and in words. False and true, true and true, and false. I want you to figure out true and true. Okay, let's say true and true and true, true and false and true, and false. And try out this when you have true variable. Now t means true, okay? Okay, let's we have it. Right. What is the when you use the AND operator, what happens? And when you use the O operator, what happens? O. And also when you use the NOT operator, what happens? Like for an example, not and what happens? And not and what is it? Not true and not false. What happens? I want you to figure it out and tell me. Right now, for an example, if you want to check true and true, if you just put this here. Now, not like this, I want you to take two variables, Boolean values, and then I want you to print what's going to happen when you have true and true, true and false likewise. Then when you have true and true, that means if the both conditions are true, the AND operator returns true. But now I want you to display this, the variable x value, comma, then in the word we have to have and, then true and true I want to display, then again x, comma, then I want to have x and x, true and true. Then it should display true and true is equals to true and true, true, 2 and 2 is equals to true. Okay, likewise, try out for the rest and and then figure it out and tell me how to do this. And thereafter, we'll do some exercises. Okay, quickly do it. Kevin, what was the question? I just saw your message. What is it? Gavin? No, so it's fine. What happens to your microphone? Don't tell me you don't have a microphone. Sandru, yes. Any questions, Sandru? Cannot hear you, Sandru. My mic is not working. No. Okay.
So should we get the values as input or just we assign values to the variables?
You can have the assigned values to the variables or else you know how to get the inputs as well, right? It doesn't matter at
Uh,
all. Either way.
to get a false input, there shouldn't be anything
Zero.
entered.
And the zero.
Yeah.
or empty string.
Empty string.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, quickly do it and send it to me. Right, then we'll see AND operator and operator. Like now, you have to just copy and paste this for a while. True and true, true and false, false and true, false and false. Here we have to have O. Okay, you don't know yet slash n, right? But then we have an empty string. Right now, for the time being, you can say true and true gives you true, true and false gives you false. Therefore, when it comes to the AND operator, if the now based on this output, what you can conclude based on this. If the AND operator, if you are using, what you can conclude when it will give you true. Yes, Ansali?
True and true.
Cannot hear you, Pute. Little bit louder.
When you input true and true.
No. I think there's a technical issue. What is it? If both are true, yes, Sandro, yes. If both are true, then only the AND operator returns true. Now you need to remember this, right? Because we have to make sure the logical operators we have to use many times. Therefore, the AND operator will return true if the both operators are true. And the O operator will return true if the either operand is true. If either operand is true, it will return true. The AND operator will return true if both operands are true. If it is true and true, then only it will return true. If either condition is true, it will return true when it comes to O operator. And the NOT operator will return the opposite of it. NOT operator will give you the opposite of it. Not true means false, not false means true. Right now, so far we know logical operators, relational operators, and the arithmetic operators. Right. Now, I want you to display the valid true or false for these. Right. Now, when you get a number from the user, right? When you get a number from the user, the first condition, it is true if if one of the conditions are met. One of the conditions are met. If one of the conditions are met. I don't know what is the operator you have to use. The first condition is above 10. Second condition is below 90. And okay, above 10 and below 90, above 10 and below 90 with above 10, below 90, even number. Second one is less than 50. Okay, less than 50. Less than, okay, let's say 50 to 90. Okay, we'll have like this. Above 50 and okay, less than 50 and okay, 10 to 100, even number. Zero to 10, multiple of 3. 0 to okay, multiple of 3, multiple of 3, above 100. Okay, it has to return true right now. Okay, first of these true. 10 to 100 even number, above 100 multiple of 3. 10 to 100 even, and okay, first question, second question, third question. If either condition is true, either condition is true, the A part is negative multiple of 5. Negative multiple of 5. B positive multiple of positive even. Right, now these are three questions. Display true if it is a 10 to 100 and even number, and even number 10 to, it has to be 10 to in between 10 to 100 and even number. If it is above 100 and multiple of 3. And if the third one should display true, if either condition, at least one condition has to be true. Odd than multiple of 3. Right, now there are 4 questions now. Do it one by one and send to me the answers via chat, please. Okay, how do you do this? Right, the first one, the number should be between 10 to 100 even. Right now, you need to get the number. Int. We need to get input. We're gonna ask you to enter a number. Right, then we need to check whether. Right now, let's say the result, we have variable called result. Result is equals to, we have to display if it is an even number in between 10 and 100. Then if the x is the first one, how to do that? X is greater than, x is, okay, less than, x values are greater than 10 and x values are less than 100. Even if you want to make sure that is equals, you can put the equal sign as well. And it has to be an even number, then x modulus 2 equals 0. If it is true, then we could say validity is result. And the second one, if it is above 100, the x values are, if the x values are greater than or equals to 100 and multiples of 3, and that means if it is a multiple of 3, when you modulus it by 3, it should equal to 0. Right. And the third one, it says either condition is true. Negative, that means two conditions are there. It has to be a negative. That means x values are less than 0. X values are less than 0. X values are less than 0 and a multiple of 5. This O a positive even. Positive even means x value is greater than 0 and even means x modulus 2 equals 0. Right now, what is the problem here? A and S were here. Number 5, it says the first one also validity false, second one also false. Why is it? All right, 10 and between 10 and 100, yes, true, not an even number. If I say 6, then okay, let's run the question. Okay, 6. Okay, if it is a 10 and 100 even number, in between 10 and 100 even number. Right, then the first one should be 10 and 100. If it is 16, let's say. If it is 16, it says true. If it is 15, it says false. Right, for the first scenario, right? That's working. The second, okay, if it is 101, 102, 102 false. If it is 2, false, right? Second scenario, above 100 and multiple of 3. Above 100 and multiple of 3. If it is 99, no false. If it is 106, false. Right, now we need to figure out what is which should be divisible by 3. Which should be divisible by 3. 100 and what? 112? No, what? 100, okay, which should be divisible by 3. 126. Yes, you can say it is true. Right. The third scenario, if either x should be negative and multiple of 5. Like if it is a negative number, let's say if it is a minus 25 and it gives you true because negative and multiple of 5. But if it is minus 26, it should not. And then we have O operator as well here. Then either positive and even if it is 2, you will get true. Even if it is 5, you will not get right. Likewise, this is how you do the first 3 scenarios. The fourth one, all the condition has to be true. Then right now we can have again an operator here. Odd number, that means x modulus 2 is not equals to 0, is an odd number or equals to 1. And multiple of 3. And multiple of 3 means x modulus 2, x modulus 3 equals to 0. Oh, and even number x modulus 2 equals and above 100. Now this should be above 100. Above 100, x values are greater than, x values are greater than 100, x values are greater than 100. Right. If it is above 100, even above 100, 104, if it is 104, it has to return true if it is above 100. Both conditions are true. If both conditions are true. Now, anyway, this will never become true, right? Odd multiple of 3, oh, even above 100, therefore never will become true. Therefore, logical issue. The question is wrong because it will never become true. Therefore, we need to make this correct. We'll say, okay, negative. Okay, not negative. We can't say because even above 100. Right, even, and this one is multiple of 3. Even and multiple of 3 likewise we'll have. Right, just to make sure it's working. Even and multiple of 3. Even and multiple of 3. Otherwise, it will never happen 0. It will never become true. Even and multiple of 3. If it is 6, it should be true. If it is 8, it is not. Likewise, this is how you can work with the relational operators. Right now, so far we have discussed about the variable types and variable conversions, the type conversion, and we discussed about the arithmetic operators, the logical operators, and relational operators. Right, then we have to check whether the membership operators we have and identity operators we have that we will discuss later. Right now, if you have a time, just search for bitwise operators. Right, when you're coming next day, just search for bitwise operators and in Python, bitwise operators. In Python, there we have to convert into binary streams, and then you need to know how to convert numbers into binary streams, and then figure out and come how to convert a number into a binary and how to work with the bitwise operators. We'll spend a small amount of time for the bitwise operator, and then we're going to talk with the operator precedence, and then we're going to start with the conditional statements, that means if-else statements, and thereafter the loops. Right, now any questions up to now you can ask, especially these. Are you okay with these? Any questions up to now, please ask. Any questions up to now? If you have any, please ask.